The moment the video begins, the camera zooms in on a young girl standing alone in a snowy forest, her thin dress blowing in the wind. Behind her, a small suitcase. Ahead of her, nothing but white silence. And then a deep, worried voice calls out from the trees, "Hey! What are you doing out here alone?" That voice belonged to a lonely lumberjack named Rowan, a widower with 4 children. And that question would change the girl's life forever. Hours earlier, her world had been completely different. Her name was Mia, only 16, quiet, gentle, always helping on the family farm. She grew up believing that family meant love, that parents protected their children. But when doctors said that Mia couldn't have children in the future, everything in her home changed. Her mother became distant. Her father stopped looking her in the eyes. Whispered conversations filled the house. The warmth evaporated. One evening, she overheard the unthinkable, her own parents talking about getting rid of the burden. She thought they were angry, overwhelmed, speaking nonsense. Until the day a stranger arrived, a man with harsh eyes, offering money. Her father signed papers without looking at her. Her mother wouldn't say goodbye. Mia felt her heart crack as she was pushed into the stranger's truck. She didn't know where she was being taken, only that she was no longer a daughter in her parents' eyes. She was an object that they traded away. The truck drove into the mountains. Snow started falling. The man barely spoke. When he stopped at a remote cabin, Mia's instincts screamed to run. While he stepped out to unlock the door, she grabbed her small suitcase and bolted into the forest. Branches whipped her face, the cold stung her skin, but she knew one thing: she would rather freeze than be owned. Hours passed. Darkness fell. She wandered through the woods until her legs finally collapsed into the snow. That's where Rowan found her. Rowan, the lumberjack, had been gathering firewood when he saw a faint figure trembling beneath a pine tree. At first, he thought it was a wild animal. But when he came closer, he saw her face, pale, terrified, hopeless. "What are you doing out here alone?" he repeated, kneeling carefully. Mia couldn't answer. Her lips were blue, her hands shaking. Without hesitation, Rowan removed his heavy coat and wrapped it around her, lifting her as gently as if she were made of glass. He smelled the danger in the air, not wolves, not storms, but something else, something human. He brought her to his cabin, where 4 curious faces peeked out, his children, Liam, Nora, Ben, and little Ava. They had lived without a mother for 3 years since Rowan's wife passed away. The house was warm from the fireplace, filled with the smell of soup and wooden toys scattered everywhere. "Kids," he said softly, "we have a guest tonight." They gathered around her without fear. Ava handed her a blanket. Nora brought warm socks. Liam heated another pot of soup. Ben, the youngest boy, whispered, "She looks like she needs hugs." And he wrapped his small arms around her. It was the first time Mia had felt kindness in years. She cried silently while eating. When she finally spoke, her voice cracked like thin ice. She told Rowan everything: the infertility, the disappointment in her parents' eyes, the sale, the escape. Rowan listened in complete silence, jaw tightening, eyes burning but gentle. When she finished, he simply said, "You're safe here. No one will touch you." The next day, Rowan went to the sheriff. Authorities searched for the man who trafficked her and launched an investigation into her parents. Mia stayed with Rowan and the children, helping around the house, doing chores, cooking meals. Slowly, the fear faded, replaced by a fragile sense of belonging. But trauma has its own timing. One evening, when Rowan came home late from the lumber mill, Mia panicked, thinking he had abandoned them. She burst into tears. Rowan sat beside her, understanding without judgment. "You've been made to believe people leave when you don't meet their expectations," he said. "But here, you never need to earn your place." His words planted something new inside her: hope. Weeks turned into months. Mia became part of the family. She braided the girl's hair, helped Liam with homework, taught Ben how to read. She laughed again. Rowan watched her heal, not as a savior, but as a man who knew what it meant to lose and to rebuild. His heart, once hardened by grief, softened as he saw her become more confident, more alive. She wasn't a replacement for his wife, she was a new chapter, someone who brought light into dark winters. But fear tried to return when Mia's parents were summoned to court. They tried to defend themselves, claiming they did what they had to do. Yet their lies crumbled when the sheriff presented evidence, and the man who bought her confessed everything. For the first time, Mia faced her parents not with fear, but with strength. "I may not be able to have children," she said softly, "but that does not make me less. It does not make me unworthy of love. It only makes you blind." Rowan stood beside her. His children held her hands. She was not alone anymore. The judge ruled that Mia would be placed with a guardian who could provide safety, emotional stability, and a loving environment. Without hesitation, Rowan stepped forward. His application was accepted. From that day on, Mia was officially part of their family. She blossomed over the years, studied, smiled more, sang again. She became a role model for the kids, a strong young woman who overcame pain with grace. Rowan called her his daughter, and she called him Dad, the word she'd always longed to say with love. The final scene shows Mia years later, standing in the same forest where she was once abandoned, now with Rowan and her siblings laughing around her. Snow falling softly. Peace replacing fear. And she looks into the camera and says, "Family is not who gives you life. Family is who gives you love." If this story touched you, inspired you, or reminded you that kindness can save a life, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. More emotional stories are coming, stories that remind us that healing is real, hope is powerful, and love can come from the most unexpected places.